let's look at adding multi-digit numbers. We're going to be using the standard algorithm, and that is what one of the standards is. And there are some steps that we want to remember. When we have large numbers, this is especially important. Write the problem in vertical form. Add the ones, regroup if needed, continue adding column by column. We go from ones, tens, hundreds, regrouping as we go. For example, let's add these two numbers, 506,721 plus 145,026. 506,721, 145,026. Notice how I stacked them on top of each other very carefully, lining up each column. Now, always start with the ones and move this way. I like to start with, when I'm in each column, whichever digit's bigger. Rather than adding 1 plus 6, I like to think of it as 6 plus 1. And because of the commutative property, both are correct. 6 plus 1 is 7. 2 plus 2 is 4. 7 plus 0, 7. 6 and 5 is 11. We put the 1 there and the other one for 11 up here. 4 plus 1 is 5 and 5 plus 1 is 6. There you have it. Sometimes though we have a hard time lining things up, and if we don't line them up correctly, our answer is going to be way off because we're not going to be adding ones and ones. We might be mixing up the columns. So you say, Ms. Sherman, what do we do if that happens? Well, I have a couple ideas for you. One is using graph paper. And let's switch to a different problem. Let's add 261,018, 86,236. And notice that they're lined up. I was very careful to write each number in each column, the ones on top of the ones, the tens on top of the tens, and so forth. Now we can add 8 plus 6, 14. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2, 6 and 1 is 7, 8 and 6. Well, if you don't remember what 8 and 6 is, think 8, 8, and then use your fingers. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The 1 goes up here, 2 plus 1 is 3, and I like to put my commas in last. So that's one way to do it, but say you don't have any graph paper handy, and certainly drawing lines, if I had to draw the lines and then write them in, that would be very confusing. So what do we do? Well, most of us have lined paper, and this is simply lined paper turned sideways. Just turn your notebook sideways or turn your lined paper sideways. And that's perfectly okay to add like that. Try one more problem, get a different one here. And this one is 72,193 plus 9,216. Well, I want to make sure that I write it vertically. 72193. And I want to make, what happens if I go like this? No, can't do that. You have to line up the ones with the ones. So let's rewrite that. And you can start at this side if you want. You can make sure, okay, 6 goes into 3, 1, 2, 9. You want to make sure that everything is lined up by place value. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 plus 1, 10. 2, 3, 4. 9 plus 2 is 11. 7 plus 1 is 8. And there you have it. I hope this was helpful.